Welcome to Arduino series by Dreadnought Robotics.
Okay, so now we'll use PWM pins. Okay, so we'll take a Arduino, we'll take a motor. Okay, one will connect it to the ground and another will connect. See, PWM pins are the pins which have these lines on them, right? So in your Arduino 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11 are the PWM pins. Okay. So your PWM full form is Pulse Width Modulation. So if you see, 1 minute, I'll show you with a diagram. So whenever if you have in digital, it's either 0 or 1, right? So it will be 1 for a certain amount of time, then it will be 0. So what your PWM pin is checks is that for how much time is it 1 and how much time is it 0. So if you see in one time period, 25% is at 1 and 75% is at 0. So your duty cycle will be 25%. Here 50% duty cycle will be like half of t, means like if t is the time duration, t by 2 amount of time will be 1 and then t by 2 amount time will be 0. So PWM pin works on that concept. So when you see your motor, DC motors, you have to connect it into a PWM pin normally. So according to that, it will change your duty cycles and it will control the speed of your motor. So if this connection is over, here your pin mode 5 will be an output pin because we are trying to control the motor. Now what we'll do, we'll try to increase the speed from 0 to the max speed of the motor. Then we'll try to decrease it back to 0. So normally your analog pins will have a value from 0 to 255. So and your digital pins will have 0 or 1. So here when we are writing when we are writing the PWM, we use a command known as analog write. So first we'll create a for loop for I 0 to I less than 256 plus plus. Then we write analog write. We use I because I goes from 0 to 256. For analog write also, first we write the pin number in which we want to send it. So here we are sending it to 5, and then we write the value between 0 and 255 by how much you want. So if it is 0, that means it will be 0 duty cycle. If it is 255, that will be 100% duty cycle. If you do 25% of 255, you'll get a 25% duty cycle. So here right now I'm putting I because this goes from 0 to 256. See, analog write has two variables in which we have to send it. One is the pin that we have to write it to, Okay, and second is by how much do I have to write, right? Even in digital write, first the pin, comma, it is either high or low.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So here it doesn't have high or low. It's an analog value, right? So it goes from 0 to 255. Correct.
Yes,
So
yes.
here I'm just putting in a for loop which takes it from 0 to 255. Yeah. So here I keep a delay of 50 microseconds, and now from 0 it will go to full speed, and now from full speed we want it to 0. So now we'll try to simulate this. So from 0 it will go to the maximum velocity, like the maximum speed. And now see it's decreasing. Actually, I'll decrease the delay. It'll go from 0 to 5,000, like 6,000, and again it'll come back to 0. Again it will start, and it will decrease the speed. You can see, right, the RPM. So you understood how PWM pin works? Digital pins are PWM pins which have the symbol on it, like beside 3, 5, 6, 9. Those all are PWM pins. Try to understand the code and write it on your own. Try not to copy. I'm putting up the code just for your reference if you get any errors, but try to write it on your own. Try to understand what you are trying to do and what command implements what in the Arduino. Using serial monitor, you give a input, and accordingly you have to display the LED color. So for LED color you'll use PWM. So in RGB LED you will have 4 pins: one red, one cathode, one blue, and one green. So in cathode will be connected to the ground. Red, blue, and green will be connected to 3 different PWM pins. So if you give a complete in for the red pin, you give complete 255 analog, right, 255, and other two as 0. This LED color will be of a red color. If you connect blue to be completely 255 and red and green to be 0, it will show a blue light. If what we call if you take 0 red, half of 255 will be 127, something like that, 127 blue and 127 green. Then it will show a mixture of blue and green color, which is yellow. Understanding? So I have in the PPT itself, I've given a table after that showing that like for what red, blue, and green colors, like for what to get gray, you have to do 128 red, 128 green, and 128 blue. To use serial monitor and PWM pins. So if you give the if a user presses G in the serial monitor, it should just glow gray on RGB LED for 2 seconds. So you have all the colors which you have to do, and what we call, you have a hex table and decimal code for all the different colors. So if you want a color of lime, just red you keep it as 0, green you keep it as 255, and blue you keep it as 0. So you have all these colors with RGB. So you can do that.